Welcome to Northumberland and Hadrian's Wall. Castles and battle sites, ghosts and legends, coast and countryside. Sponsored by Eat and Sleep at Lindisfarne, Northumberland's premier bunkhouse and cafe, and held rider equipment. So come on, let's go on an adventure. So there we have Camien Cafe. You can have eggs on toast, toasties, burgers, bacon, full breakfasts, iced crispy cakes with the layer of chocolate thicker than I've ever seen in my life. It's a good stop-off place, actually. It really is. But we're going to be continuing on now to Otterburn. And Otterburn is also well known for the fact that it's a military firing range, but it has more to it than that. You see, there had been a truce between the English and the Scots during the 1300s or the 14th century, but by the late 1300s, around about 1384, that truce was due to end. But Scotland owed money to England. And the Scottish, or the King of Scotland at the time, knew that there could be a skirmish or a battle that was going to take place. And so he made contact with the French to boost his army. And the French agreed. And so there were many skirmishes, but the King of Scotland decided that he would head down into England to face the King of England. Now this was around about 1387. But it's said that only he knows why he decided to stop at Otterburn. He had an army of 5,000-6,000 men, and that's not an inconsiderable size of army, because the King of England was also asking for English soil to be returned. English soil, of course, the Scots. No, that belongs to us. But the English king wanted it back. And rather than doing that, the Scottish king decided, hang on a minute, I don't really agree with that. So brought his troops south to face the English army. And it was all around this area here that we're currently riding through. Now if you could imagine a football ground with, say, 5,000 people in, it ain't a lot. It's a considerable army, but it ain't a lot. And they would have been on the hills around here. And the English army as well. So even though there had been a truce, that was rapidly coming to an end, with the Scottish army fortified by the French, thinking of course he could win. And that then brought about a bit of a battle. And that battle was fought at the Battle of Otterburn in 1388. all around in the fields that you're currently looking at now, which is around about 1.5 miles west of the village of Otterburn. And this is reputedly the Otterburn battle site. I wonder what artifacts are under the ground here, or in the ground here, not under but in. And it was fought around the 19th of August, which isn't too far from now, because here it is the 31st of August I'm filming. Traditionally has it, or the tradition has it, on the night of August the 19th, 1388, a bloody encounter took place on these fields between Scottish raiders led by James, Earl of Douglas, and an English force commanded by Sir Henry Percy, eldest son of the Earl of Northumberland, which resulted in a defeat for the English forces and the death of James of Scotland. So all the way around here, the Battle of Otterburn took place. Ah! You could just imagine, because we're in a bit of a valley, and as we go to the Battle of Flodden, you'll see things quite similar. But through there, you've got a hill. Over there, you've got a hill. So no doubt the forces came together. It must have been horrendous back then, mustn't it? It really was hand-to-hand combat all around these fields, with clubs and pickets, you know, long sticks with pointy things on the end, axes, swords. My God. I bet there weren't many men in the military aspect to it all, you know, in the army, who survived very long. I think it must have been horrendous. It's not much better today. And here we are in Otterburn itself. Yeah, you see, it's not that far from the battle site at all. Couple of places where you can get things if you haven't stopped at Camien Cafe. And the Otterburn Castle. Oh, it's changed its name because it used to be the Otterburn Tower Hotel. It's now called the Otterburn Castle. Still the same building. Still have the legend of part of it originated from 1388. And just as we come out of Otterburn, where the road goes round to the right down to Newcastle, we're going to turn left and head towards Rothbury. And I'm not staying behind these two. Funnily enough, just over that way, you've got the Otterburn Military Rangers, and if you're lucky enough, you'll see helicopters and aeroplanes, jets flying in, practicing their firing. You'll hear the artillery going boom. It's pretty good, actually. We're now just reaching or coming to the outskirts of Rothbury. Probably one of the nicest villages in Northumberland, although there are many. Rothbury is infamous. A number of years ago, there was a guy who decided to shoot a shotgun at a policeman over the A1 because he thought his girlfriend was cheating on him. And he fled up to Rothbury. Now there's a bridge as we go further down where you would turn right, but to go over the bridge you turn right, and it was there where he met his demise. And this village was inundated with police at the time. The name of the guy, I have to say, escapes me, unless I remember it, and I'll put it over the top of the film, and then you can do a bit of research on him if you want as to what went on. And that's where you would turn right, just there, down to there, the bridge, look left, and the guy was hiding in a water drain. But Rothbury is famous for one thing, more than any other, I think. And that there was an industrialist by the name of Armstrong. And as we keep going and heading towards Alnwick, we're going to come across it very soon. And just over here we come across it, and that is the house of Cragside. And Cragside is famous, as well as Armstrong, who owned it, as being the first house in the world to be illuminated with electricity. Now part of the National Trust. There it is, over there, look. A very popular visitor attraction. And as you'll have seen, there is a bit of a pond at the front, and it was through the generation of the wheel, generated electricity, and he was able to illuminate his house and became very wealthy. And on the next adventure, the coastal adventure, we're going to discover just how wealthy he became. But you can find out more about Cragside, guess where? In the book. But as we climb out of Rothbury, carpeted again with purple heather. I do love it. I don't know whether you can tell, but I do. Mile after mile of fabulous countryside. As we drop, having climbed out of Rothbury, we drop down now, and if we were to continue straight on, we would end up in Alnwick. But Alnwick is going to be on another adventure. So at this point we're going to turn left towards Coldstream, and then we're going to turn right in Wooler and head towards Holy Island. We're only just over 70 miles from Edinburgh, but 16 miles from Wooler, which is where we'll turn right, because our real next discover and explore moment is going to be on the island of Lindisfarne, or Lindisfarne Island, or Holy Island, or to combine them all, the Holy Island of Lindisfarne. And you'll find out why it's called Lindisfarne. Has something to do with the Vikings. Exciting, isn't it? Isn't it exciting? And it's here where we turn right to go over the little bridge, signposted to Belford and the A1. And one of the first villages that we will come into as we head towards the coast is Belford. Lovely little spot. Belford, the historic coaching town, because it has a coaching inn, but it was also on the route of the A1, which we're going to be going on soon, of the coaches that were heading from Edinburgh down to York, and obviously from York up to Edinburgh, and no doubt further afield. And there we have Lindisfarne, right over there. You may not be able to pick it up in the camera, but there's a spit of land that takes us out onto Lindisfarne, and that's where we're heading. And as we come back off Lindisfarne, we will be going to our accommodation for the night at Eat and Sleep Lindisfarne Cafe and Bunkhouse, run by Sean. Fabulous fella, fabulous. So as we hit the A1, we're going to turn left to head north. And the gods have been good to us today. The dark clouds have not descended upon us. Even though the BBC weather forecast said there's going to be thunderstorms, hail, lightning. Not a bit of it. Not one bit of it. And the less said about the BBC weather forecast, the better. And here is the fuel station where we turn right to head off to the holy island of Lindisfarne. I wonder if the causeway is open. We're going to find out, that's for sure. So we continue towards, having stopped at the railway crossing, and a chain? What's a chain? And and the train going dilly-dee, dilly-dee, dilly-dee. And as we come down, there's Lindisfarne in front of us, the holy island of Lindisfarne. And here we have the Lindisfarne or Holy Island Causeway. It's a good idea just on the left there to check the timetables, but I think it's about 5 o'clock-ish when the tide comes in. See, now this area here, the amount of people that have been caught out on it is phenomenal. Because it's flat, and when the tide comes in, it comes in at a rapid rate of knots. And if you look online, you'll see many people trapped here with the water just about to the roof of the cars because they tried to get through. Welcome to Holy Island. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have seen things on the TV, programmes, films, series, and you've heard the phrase, "Give me a flagon of your finest mead, landlord." Well, still produced today is Lindisfarne mead, and that's the factory there. That's where they produce it, and that's where you can buy it from. And of course, what you also have is the fact it's derived from honey, and it is an acquired taste, to say the least. And there's Lindisfarne Priory there, straight in front, covered in scaffolding and tarpaulin, no doubt repairing it. So realistically, you have to go and park in the car park to have you walk around. It's a lovely island to it is. It's a lovely. It's very, very relaxing to walk around it. The water underneath there seems static, so it's about to go on the turn, no doubt. And just a little bit further up here, we're going to turn left before the T-junction, which is going to take us to our overnight accommodation and sponsor of the Northumberland and Hadrian's Wall adventures, Eat and Sleep Lindisfarne. A cafe and bunkhouse. And there it is there. So, do you think we should go and have a look inside? Absolutely. Come on. Here we are at Eat and Sleep at Lindisfarne. Fantastic cafe facilities, but also offering superb bunkhouse facilities. So come on, let's go and have a look inside.